Bocchi song! New Bocchi song! Long I have waited, this must be fated, found shan't be baited. Wait, have they mated? A new single drop from Kessoku Bando has proved that Kessoku Bando is here to stay not just as an anime band, but also as a legitimate artist. These numbers don't lie. And with a new banger song, I wondered, since the anime is far over, what would they theme this song after? Anxiety again? It's great, but we have like 5 of those now. Then I actually read the lyrics. They grow up so fast. Hikari no Naka e, Into the Light was written by Fujimori Genki, the lead guitarist and vocalist of which, I'll be honest, I'd never heard of before making this video. But it seems like they were a really popular band back in the day, and this song's a banger, so no complaints here. A quick scan through the lyrics and the MV would easily tell you that this song is from Bocchi's perspective, which also makes sense because every non-anime song in the album has been Bocchi's song so far. But what is this light? Is it Bocchi the Light? Is it Bocchi World of Light? Is it Bocchi... We begin this song with none other than the #1 source of PTSD, calculus. Just kidding, it's only simple equations. You know, the #2 source of PTSD. Call it fancy, call it nerdy, Bocchi uses these equations to relate the many things in her music life. Expectations, since positive here in the equation as opposed to insecurities, I'd like to take as an optimistic thing. Her expectations for herself as guitar hero. Adding herself to that and subtracting her insecurities probably means this entire bracket of things is her overall confidence in herself. This, multiplied by the guitar, her specialty, gives rock. If you take this at surface level, many of the current Bocchi songs are rock-y songs, so it could just mean her confidence multiplied by her guitar gives rock songs. But if you remember the anime, they often use rock as a replacement word for you fucking crazy psychopath. Which, honestly, yeah, rock people probably have issues. Yeah. If we translate that meaning here, then maybe insecurities beat Bocchi plus expectations, we got a negative number, and Bocchi went off her rails again. Classic. Honestly, you could just take it both ways. When Bocchi is confident, you get a great rock song. When Bocchi is insecure, you get flying off a stage. Classic equations. Changing variables give you different results. You in the next sentence can either mean Kessoku Bando as a whole, or Kita. I like the idea of Kita more though, since we're dividing the guitar later, presumably the number of guitars, and Bocchi and Kita are the only guitar wielders. Guitar dual wielder. Time most certainly means the time they use rehearsing for their performances, explaining why after subtracting all the time they used and divide their guitars into 2, no, not literally, we are left with a live performance. Looking at the variables here, since we know their practice time must be ungodly, more than the amount of time a chronically online person spends scrolling Twitter and Reddit, for this side to be positive and give a proper live performance, me plus you has to be of crazy value. I think this is Bocchi's way of saying how close she is to Kita. Look, it has to be Kita, not just Kessoku Bando as a whole. It's the guitar. It's proof. I'm not just a Yuri-crazed fan. Trembling with fear before a live performance is the most Bocchi thing ever. I mean, did you see her before the school festival performance? That heartbeat could destroy a city with sonic booms. 8 measures before the real performance is a cool line, but what the fuck is a measure, you may ask? Well, I'm not a music expert, but TLDR, in this song, think 4 beats as 1 measure, and if you count it starting from the end of this very line, in 8 measures, you'll notice that you'll be led right into the chorus. Bocchi, you fucking hype machine. Continuing the hype momentum, a declaration from Bocchi destroying her own sense of inferiority, showing her confidence right before the real performance. And so she jumps inside the light. At first, I took the light as a very generic Kessoku Bando was the light of my life kind of message. The light metaphorically being Kessoku Bando and Bocchi going into it meaning Bocchi joining Kessoku Bando. But the more I watched the MV and thought about it, I realized I liked the explanation of the light being the spotlight on stage more. Not only does the MV have a very heavy emphasis on spotlights, but both structurally and meaning-wise. It makes sense when you see the next time light appears in the song and get the whole picture, so I'll explain it fully later. But even now, it's It's cool to have Bocchi mention the chorus as the real performance, declaring her confidence, then proceeding to go on stage into the spotlight. Then start this real performance with a smug-ass smile. Holy shit, Bocchi went from I'm sorry, ma'am, to bitch, this is my stage. She went from Bocchi to Guitar Hero. Not like me, for real. I'd be on stage. You fell off! Not relatable anymore! Bocchi proceeds to perform and declare in this performance that a new world has been born, which I think quite directly refers to the fact that entering kessoku bando opened to her a new world. She could finally make true friends, but more than anything, she could finally start performing live on stage instead of just holding up in her closet and uploading videos. A new world in her guitar playing career was open to her, with the simple action of joining kessoku bando. The next line is not only such a fucking cool reference to If I Could Be a Constellation, but also encapsulates the theme of this song perfectly. The pipe dream mentioned here, esoragoto, is the exact word used in the final chorus of If I Could Be a Constellation. In that song, we deciphered this pipe dream to be for kessoku bando to become popular, with Kita performing on a big stage together with Bocchi. Now I want you to go back and take a look at the MV. Does this place not look slightly familiar? Indeed. With now statistical evidence that anime is actually real, a quick Google search will show you that the stage Bocchi is standing on here is ZEP Haneda, the very venue in real life where kessoku bando had their first large-scale full-on concert. Yoppie, Bocchi Seiyu even showed off her insane progress by playing the guitar while singing Rock and Roll Morning Light Fall on You. While Ikumi Hasegawa, Kita Seiyu was like 90% of the performance since she is the main vocalist. So while nowhere near the point in the anime, this pipe dream has already come true in real life. This brings me to the main theme of this song. I think it's about Bocchi's feelings on performing on stage in ZEP Haneda. I don't know whether it's about the real life one that just happened, or a future in the anime/manga where kessoku bando grows to be this big and performs in ZEP Haneda. But either way, with this venue picked in the MV matching the concert, this song's initial reveal to be at this very same concert, and the overall much more confident than usual Bocchi performing on stage in this song, it's hard to refute the fact that this song is related to the ZEP Haneda concert. By the way, holy shit, that concert was so fucking good. Guitar Hero Yoppie shredded the guitar. Ikumin kita the fuck out of our soul. Oh angels, my retinas burn from the light. Give praise to the Holy One. Give praise. Bocchi claims that performing on this stage is just like a pipe dream. The very same pipe dream she saw months ago when kessoku bando just started. That's why every minute, every second of performing on this huge stage as kessoku bando is a miracle. It feels just like a moment's sparkle. And to drop meaning between our days could just generically mean how much Bocchi spending time with her bandmates meant to her. But since we're talking about performing on stage here in this very chorus, I like thinking this sentence in the sense of, this very performance we are doing right now shows and gives meaning behind all the days and hours of practicing. After all, you know what they say, practice makes perfect. In more than just a guitar way. Even if Bocchi messes things up in more than one way. Even if there are times where she feels she can't face forward, unlike past her, who'd make an interstellar multi-dimensional fanfiction as a coping mechanism, through this phrase, the music phrase, not the famous quote phrase, through this song, the music that she loves, she can confidently say that it will be okay. I particularly like the line, "the sound I truly love," because I think it shows how Bocchi's love for music has grown over time. I mean, we've known that she's always loved it, but to me, it feels like we've gone way past the use music to make money and drop out of high school phase, and is doing this out of pure passion, to produce music that truly resonates to her heart. It feels like a whole new level, the words of a long-time professional musician. Alternatively, kessoku bando actually did make it and she successfully dropped out of high school. Ah, now I see why all the YouTubers say she like me for real. Okay, so for the next line, before you call me an uneducated bitch who doesn't understand English grammar, I know this is grammatically wrong, but the best translation I felt for te is apostrophe S. To both the best of my Japanese and literature abilities, I felt this sentence refers to how there will always be some hate that comes with sheer popularity. If you have a concert crowd of a few thousand, you have hundreds of thousands of fans online and at least a few thousand haters. There could be many irrational reasons such as Bocchi's anxiety, Bocchi's dating life, Bocchi's copyright infringement, but the line "worked hard" to me implies jealousy. It's like the unsuccessful musicians who feel bitter because they felt like they worked hard but couldn't make it on this level of stage that Bocchi did. It feels like that kind of resentment. I mean, honestly, standard for the entertainment industry. By the way, on a side note, the play on words here is super cool. They have the same Japanese characters, but this one is tsumahajiki, hate or bully, and this one is tsumabiki, to play an instrument. It's a really genius play on words. Even as a high school dropout candidate, Bocchi took her Japanese classes seriously, more than any YouTuber took their English classes. But back to the song. Even with this hate, even if she's still awkward, cause, you know, she might still be in the mood to rearrange her face a few times a day, Bocchi will keep playing her guitar, for her music to reach everyone, even the haters. And she'll do this by bundling it. Now what the muck Bocchi fuck is bundle? Like Walmart special 4-in-1 crayons bundle? You could take it generically as, let's bundle these thoughts and memories and bonds between kessoku band and move forward. But I also found the true meaning behind kessoku band, which is, hand band. I mean, they even wear it in the anime. So essentially, you use this kessoku band to bundle things like cables together. This is quite far-fetched and I have no idea if it was intended or if I sound like a theory-crafting Pokemon fan, but I was thinking something like, to bundle all their bonds together to look towards the future with a kessoku band, no matter how far they go as a band, if that makes sense. Fuck, I am the delusional Pokemon fan. Going back to 4th grade maths, we move on to question 2A and 2B of simple equations. Since Bocchi is still the main character here, the world probably means Bocchi's world, who she's connected with, her network. Meanwhile, mutual understanding means, well, her mutual understanding with the people she knows, thoughts, personality, behavior, and whatnot. As much as Bocchi's self-confidence seemed to have grown, it's still very believable that she's still the awkward type that doesn't exactly go to business events to network. That's the leader extrovert's job. However, with the people that she does know, kessoku bando, with so many fucking songs having lines saying how they'll always be together, keep performing forever, love never severs, it's pretty clear that Bocchi is very close to the other members, pushing mutual understanding's value up pretty high. Since we got an out as a result, we can assume the left-hand side is negative, and yeah, I can see why. Perhaps this is Bocchi's way of saying how she can't really connect with that many people, but with those that she does connect with, she has a very strong relationship and mutual understanding of. It's a bit like that quote from Leo about resonating with a small crowd, but resonating deeply with that crowd. I hope Leo doesn't charge me royalty fees for taking her quote. I paraphrased it, okay? It's fair use. Kessoku band's bonds are further proved by the next line, saying me plus you is biased. It's legitimately unfair to put in an equation because Bocchi feels nothing can be of more value than you, kessoku bando, or kita, as a reference to question 1B. I'm not gonna fanboy, you decide which one it is. The next and final equation is actually quite tricky. There are a few things I can come up with. If you take it mathematically, then infinite here will give you a value of 0, which, band is not 0, okay? You could take it legitimately and say, because no matter what sound is, the answer becomes 0, it means the sound they make doesn't matter as long as they're together. A follow-up to the previous sentence, because Bocchi believes they'll always be good/happy together. The next one is simpler. Since there is, an endless loop in kessoku band's logo, because circles don't have ends, it's like Baby Park, but infinite laps. But yeah, if this endless loop is just a metaphor for kessoku bando, then this equation is simple. The music produced by kessoku bando is divided by the members, making the band. Honestly, this meaning feels more complete and straightforward, so I like this one more. Yeah, fuck you laws of mathematics. I never respected your younger brother physics. Why should I respect you? Now with the transition to the bridge, the song calms down a bit and it feels like we're privy to a bit more of Bocchi's thoughts behind stage. A reality of making every effort shows that no, this is not some child prodigy, Lamau get good in 1 month story. Bocchi practiced every day for years upon years to get to this level. She did this for years in her closet with only a semi-decent level of feedback online. the ideals that she held at the time, the dream of standing on that dome stage all musicians look at in awe, was set back by the reality of her social anxiety, perhaps even the reality of her skills at the time. Now, twisted in this sentence is actually a really bad translation, but I couldn't find a better word, so forgive me. Twisted is in the sense of twisting something very simple into something very complicated. You know, like high school girls would, or anonymous fucks online, or Bocchi. Bocchi had always had this dream of being the star on stage, but instead of going after this fantasy directly by joining a band or applying to perform, all she did was hole herself up and escape to the online world. She took a simple dream, a simple fantasy, and twisted it up. It really took an angel in shining light to push her out of her comfort zone to directly go after this fantasy. Bocchi knows this. She knows that her true identity was that person kneeling in that closet, her personal remote island, playing to nobody but an invisible internet audience for years. But all of that is in the past. Tonight, she is the professional guitarist performing at ZEP Haneda, and she has a good feeling about it. She's going to destroy that stereotype called social anxiety she had labeled on herself. She's going to say goodbye to the old weak her and blow the crowd away with her guitar. That's why she wrote this song. A song declaring how Bocchi dived into the spotlight of a big stage, leaving the past, lonely, anxiety-ridden coward Bocchi behind. And she wants to go even further than this, beyond the spotlight of ZEP Haneda, to a greater, grander stage. She can now face this challenge, this dream with full confidence. God fucking damn, Bocchi got infected with personal growth. She did go into some negativity for a bit, but unlike past Bocchi, who would have just ripped into another timeline, after reflecting on her past, now, she is able to confidently say that she'll destroy this problem she's had for the longest time. Instead of worrying, she's able to say, I can do it, just like the guitar hero she initially dreamed of being. I don't know when we can get to this point in the anime/manga, but seeing this kind of Bocchi is absolutely incredible. It really is a tribute to how much anyone can grow with the right support from the right people with the right skills. I really hope I get to see this in anime form one day. God damn! And with that declaration, Bocchi immediately smashes into the spotlight, right into the chorus, saying that since she has declared her conviction, a new world has been born, and that again, performing on the stage is truly a pipe dream. Every minute, every second of this performance feels like a miracle. Every moment sparkling, and so she tells her will to reside within the gaps of their days. Ah, so Bocchi's the kind of person to do this. Go in! Go in! Go in! To say this right after all that talk about the past, declaration, and miracles, I feel it's a showing of how she wants her source of will, source of motivation to always reside from the precious days she spends with Kessoku Bando. Because Kessoku Bando was the beginning of everything, the reason she is where she is now, even if she still can't understand most of the world because of her social anxiety, even if she continues to grumble, perhaps about mental episodes she occasionally still has. The scale of her dreams, her drive to improve, and her true love for the guitar and music will push her forward. And even if jealous haters saying, "How do you play like this?" appear, with her playing, with her music, though still an awkward girl, she'll try to reach them with not words, but music, the language she speaks the best. And she'll continue to play for these days with Kessoku Bando to continue. I find this a super sweet line because it implies that even after they'd made it big, the relationship between Kessoku Bando has not changed in the least, and Bocchi still sees these days the same way as the old days of performing at Starry. That's why she'll continue to bundle these precious days moving forward. And in such a fucking adorable fashion, all the other members sing along, gladly agreeing to continue bundling these days of happiness, playing today, tomorrow, and in the future, no matter how far Kessoku Bando goes. Because Kessoku Bando will not only grow as a band, but also as friends, perhaps into a relationship even more special than just friends. Kessoku Bando is always one. God damn, get yourself some friends as close as these girls are. Sometimes true friendship can reach a level beyond gay girls. You know what I mean? Not saying they're not gay though. Going on from some of the most wholesome lines I have ever read in my non-existent musical career, I really like how the song structures itself to be Bocchi's deeper thoughts or backstage thoughts during the verses and bridge, while having a much more direct message from Bocchi on stage during the choruses. The transition between backstage and onstage is even done by Bocchi saying how she goes into the light, the spotlight on stage, hence the title Into the Light. A song about how Bocchi dives into the spotlight on a big stage, facing straight 180 degrees line forward, and is now able to face her dreams, her fears, and the future directly head on. I'm still not used to confident smiling Bocchi, but fuck do I love it. The best part about this song is how in the anime, Bocchi states that she hates irresponsibly written, insincere, happy-go-lucky songs for the sake of being optimistic. So for these words to be personally handwritten by Bocchi means Bocchi has really reached a point where she can think and feel all of this from the bottom of her heart. She can truly stand on stage and be proud of herself. It really shows, since almost all of the other songs from Bocchi's perspective in the initial album were about her social anxiety, her holding herself up, her feeling alone and lost in this world. To think that Bocchi has reached a point where she's made irreplaceable friends and can say with a smile on her face that she can wipe her past weaknesses away and proudly play on stage? I don't know, it gets to me. I'm so proud of her. It's like seeing your daughter succeed in life. Is this what hentai protagonists feel like? Where Guitar, Loneliness, and the Blue Planet was a song about Bocchi using her guitar to desperately connect to the world, screaming that she wants to be somebody. Into the Light is a song about Bocchi using her guitar to confidently connect to the world, to reach great heights, to become the somebody she wanted to become, to be a true guitar hero.